Hey guys, back with another video, and I have a small book haul and my monthly book of the month. So my hubby bought me some books. We went to the Dollar Tree couple days ago couple of days ago, and he picked up one book, and we noticed that it was a book in a series. And so we looked for all of the books. It turned out to be 5 books in the series, and they were $1.25 each. So he got me all 5 of them. In exchange, I did take 5 books out of my home library and took them to my school library. So yes, I got rid of them, but I didn't throw them away. And I actually exchanged middle grade books for middle grade books. So I ended up just taking them to work because I knew that some of my kids would actually enjoy it. And I had read all of them anyway. And while they were good books, they were not books that I had planned on rereading unless I had to do a, not a book study, but like well, maybe it is called a book study, but like a group book read with my students at school. And sometimes the books that I chose to exchange, which was the Mildred Taylor books, like The Cadillac and Roll of Thunder, Hear My Roar, I believe it is. Cry of Thunder, Hear My Roar. I actually can't remember the name of the book right now. But there's one called The Friendship. There's the Golden Cadillac. Then there's like, I think there's 6 or 7 of those books in just that, in the Golden Cadillac thing. Or series, because I think it is just different perspectives, different stories of events that took place during segregation, during the civil rights movement. And we do use those, and I've never had those. All the copies that I have here were my personal copies, just so that I can have mine separate from my students. But what I'm realizing is because I read so much at home, when I bring in books, I am going to exchange my teacher copies here at home and take them to school. And I actually have an area where my teacher copies are just set aside now, since my classroom is arranged a little bit different. Hopefully I'll still have the same arrangement at the newer school that I'm going to. Yes, I'm moving buildings again, but it's because I am going to be a 6th grade teacher instead of a 5th grade teacher. So one subject, which is science, so not quite ELA, but you know, kids like to read out of anybody's library that is a teacher that they like, so I'm still going to keep my library. Anywho, I digress. The book series is called, is this the first one? No, that's the last one. It is called Creepers. So yeah, it is a complete series of 5. I like horror, so this definitely caught my husband's attention, because what's crazy is that this is book 1, right? So I'm gonna point out the book that actually caught his attention. This is book 2. Book 3. I believe this is the one that caught his attention. And then we saw this one, which is book 4. We saw this one next, and this was the other one that really caught my attention. And then this was book 5. We found book 1 and 2 and 5 after we had saw books 3 and 4. And I was just like, oh my goodness, it's a Dollar Tree collection. And it says that there's over 4 million of these copies sold worldwide. So the fact that I was able to find these for super cheap at the Dollar Tree was awesome. So 5 books for $6. I mean, I still love the fact that I can find books so cheap, but I mean, come on, Dollar Tree, what are we doing? It should not be $1.25. It should have been 5 books for $5. But I digress. It's still cheaper than the other books I'm about to show you that I bought. So I'm still here for it. I'm still here for it. All right. So my next box of books that wasn't even a box that I showed you. Those were individual. But anyway, this is February's book of the month. I haven't done a book of the month in a minute. I still like their little warnings that they have. This box may elicit excitement. So, all right. So February, I'm not gonna lie to you, I got this book solely because I'm going on a writer's retreat, so I had to get this one, and it's called The Writing Retreat. And yes, I'm going to take this book on the writing retreat with me, so I'm not even going to read it until May. Next one is What Lies in the Woods. The writing retreat is in the Woodline. I mean, but I will actually read this during the summer, so this is probably going to be read in June. And I had to get the hard copy of this because I read the ebook along with listening to the audiobook because it is a thick book, and I plan on rereading it again and again and again. This is probably one of the very few books that has a whole lot of hype around it when it first came out, that it took me a minute to actually see what the hype was about, and I absolutely love everything about this book. And that is Babel, or Babel, however you choose to pronounce it. But in the audiobook, it actually says Babel, and then some parts of the audio actually says Babel. So Babel, Babel, however you decide. And yes, the biblical reference of the Tower of Babel is in this a few times, kind of scattered throughout there. And it is based on translation, which if you look at the story of the Tower of Babel, when they thought that they were higher, better than God, and they tried to build this giant, building to reach the skies, he changed everyone's language. So Babel, translation, like, it's kind of centered in translating things, and a lot of it, it talks about in the book that a lot of it comes from translations of the Bible and translations of how when not all translations that come from any one text to another is genuine. It actually tells us about how some translations are made for the side of the people that it kind of wants to be for. So like, if I'm trying to convince another country to do business with me, I'm gonna translate it in a way that's more convincing for them to be on my side, make it look prettier than what it is. So that's, and I believe it did talk at one point about how, or it was actually just a Devo. It was a Devo that I did that was at the same time that I was reading this, about how translating the Bible, no matter what language it was translated in, it doesn't just give you all the pretty stories. It gives you the horror stories of the Bible, of the people, of what they did at the time. And it really makes you want to dig into translations more. And I really thought that this was like super cool. How it goes into the different translations and why things are translated, and who is benefiting from the translations. Like, it's a lot. And there are some history lessons, like genuine history lessons in here, and how you can see how the timeline of each history lesson is a little bit off, but it's enough of a history lesson for it to spark curiosity so that you can go back and do your own digging into the research of the events that took place. So I thought that was pretty cool. And silver is such a big thing in this book. I always thought the world fought a lot about gold, but apparently silver was really big during this time. So I had to get a hard copy because I don't ever like to write in my books. So, because the transparent sticky notes have become like my Jimmy Jam. I did buy some of those last year, and I have not used them all. So I think I'm going to use the rest of them on this and buy some of that transparent highlighting tape, because I also like to highlight things too. So I think I'm going to, I've never annotated a book that I've read for fun before, so this will be a first. So that was all of February's box, and then it says "Be Mine, Me to Every Book." That's the bookmark that goes with, and I'm going to put that in the Writer's Retreat one, since that's the next one I'm going to be reading. All right, and then March's box. That's it. And then that means 1, 2, 3, 5. I'm gonna have to get rid of 5 more books. And this time I may actually switch out 5 mediocre books and give them to a little library that's over by my sister's house, instead of throwing them away. So I have to go back through my books. I know most of the ones in my room I really want to keep in love, but there are, I think there is a handful in there that I only got because they were popular, and I've had them for over a year and I have not read them. And I think if I can find them on an audiobook or an ebook, I'll probably just read them that way and then just get rid of the physical copies, because if I had the physical copies for that long and I haven't even read the first chapter, then I'm probably not going to get to it anytime soon. One of them is Fangirl. A YouTuber that I follow really loves Fangirl, and nothing about it really stuck out to me, but I was like, oh, she likes it, so I'll go ahead and buy it. I found it for like $1.25 at the Dollar Tree, and then I've never read it. I don't know what that's about though. All right, so March's box. And my birthday is this month on the 25th. So one of these books was free. Because I'm a BFF of Book of the Month. All right. So this is called The Soulmate: What Happens When Love Pushes You to the Edge. So that's one. And then the second one, I was just told to get this because I was told I was going to like it a lot. It is a thick one, so I may have to get the audiobook to help me out, but if I start reading this during the summertime, I think I'll be done with it by the end of the summer, so I may not even get the audiobook at all. But it is called The Poisonwood Bible. I was told I was going to like this because it's kind of like a suspense. So, yeah. I just got it because I was told I was going to like it. And usually, people who tell me I'm going to like something, they're always right. Well, almost always right. So, got it. So, these are my... Oh, wait. Here is the bookmark. I'm a great judge of characters. So, and actually, I'm going to put that one in the Poisonwood Bible. And these are my Book of the Month books. This is the book haul. Thank you for watching my video. Alright, that's all I have for you today. Until next time, bye.